Welcome to the So You Wanna Get Fat podcast. I am your host, not your typical chef, Brian and today with me, as always, is my ball of buttery French goodness, Frenchy.
Is it still there? Because I can't see it.
What, your chin?
No.
It's still there. Yes,
Okay.
it's still there.
Frenchy.
Nice hat. I'm not used to seeing you with a hat.
Because I have long, beautiful hair that you don't.
Yes, that you get to show off. And
Yes, I do.
But yeah, no, we're rocking some swag today. Where are we filming this from, Frenchy?
We're still above Low Revised, just one floor up.
Yes.
340 West 46th Street in the heart of the theater district. 10036 for all those postcards.
Yes, and if you're in New York and make a trek over to Brooklyn, visit my shop, Mission Sandwich Social in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Make a day out of it. Visit him, then visit me, or visit me, then visit him. Go catch a show. Can't go wrong. Good day in New York. Frenchy, today we have a very special meat and potatoes of an episode. Today we are going to react to Guga Foods, okay? You guys love when we react to stuff, but you guys also love it when we react to Guga Foods. We're going to react
And
to...
it's particularly good for me because I like Guga.
Yeah, you love
You know,
Guga.
shit,
Well,
none of that shit crap.
yeah,
show me.
he does. That's usually the videos that make you happy. Guga videos make you happy.
Yes, they make me happy.
Well, Guga is, and he says it himself, he is not a chef. He is, I would say, a self-taught connoisseur of meats, right? But today, we decided to bring someone a tad bit more qualified to react to Guga's video. Pat LaFrieda!
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on?
Where you at? For a second.
Welcome back to So You Wanna Get Fat. We had such a blast with you the last time. Thanks for making the time for this. And last time you were here, I actually FaceTimed Guga because we need to get you guys together. I think that's like worlds colliding.
I just want to show off the dry age.
But after we talk shit today about him, and then I don't know, there's going to be some collisions for sure.
There's going to be some collisions. Yeah,
He can take it. He can take it.
Like Nick Solaris, brand ambassador for Pat LaFrieda. Ooh. I definitely can't go visit there when he's there. No.
No, he loved it, actually. He was laughing his ass off.
He's on what the Brits say, holiday.
I'm on holiday.
He's on holiday right now. We say vacation here in the States.
I don't even
For
think
years, I would ask, what holiday is that? I honestly thought I was missing out on something,
Yeah.
but no, it's a vacation.
So make sure you stay to the end of the episode. We're going to react to Guga Foods together with Pat LaFrieda. But before we get to that, last week's episode
of what?
of Pro Chef Reacts, we reacted to, not Pro Chef Reacts, of the podcast, we reacted to your episode of Beat Bobby Flay.
Yeah, but it was edited.
It was an edited down
a clean version.
It was a clean version. A version that didn't make Frenchy look as assholey. But good nonetheless. But because of the demonetization, because Food Network loves to demonetize.
Did we get
video,
demonetized?
No, it didn't actually come out yet as of filming
Oh.
this. So I guess we have yet to be seen. We're just anticipating to be demonetized. So go pick up a demonetized shirt in the merch store. Link in the description below to help us.
You got to show Pat the T-shirt we made.
Yes, we will.
In anticipation of getting screwed by Food Network.
Yes, more or less.
Define demonetized, yes.
So on YouTube,
We make money off of this, right?
yeah. So our type of content is reaction videos, and we are basically using our knowledge as professional chefs, or we were there, and we are transforming that content into something else, right? And there's a law that protects people when they do that. It's called fair use. We're not taking like The Dark Knight Rises and putting it up on our channels as if we made it, right?
Sure.
We are reacting to something because we're there, we're adding commentary. But a lot of times the way YouTube's designed is, people can easily take advantage of that copyright law and kind of skirt around it. So even though it is covered under fair use, they can say, oh, that's my content. You're violating copyright laws, and then, you don't get to monetize the video anymore. Basically, you don't
But
get
they
to,
do.
Yes. Then that person who claimed the copyright violation gets to collect that money. from the video.
It's a game of chess.
It's a game of chess, yes. So I'm usually very cautious about what we react to, but having Paul over here, he's just like, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's just do it.
No.
Yeah.
I'll cover the nut. Don't worry.
Yes. So your episode was of Beat Bobby Flay, came out. Definitely check that out. And then we reacted to, on Pro Chef Reacts, we reacted to Future Canoe recreating the butter chicken video. Remember that? The kid making the butter chicken?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Sure. All right.
Sure.
Before we get on to today's meat and potatoes, Pat,
I thought that was Sunday, the butter chicken.
Sunday? No, that was our video that came out. All right, forget it. We're doing too much of this Back to the Future shit. You can't keep track. Let's get to the clips.
I don't want to.
Pat, before we start the meat and potatoes, I usually like to show a few clips, some funny, some inspirational, but I always start with the clip of the day, something a little inspirational. So let's put on our headsets.
You have one for Pat?
Yes, it's right next to him.
Now it's like we're coaches. Okay, go long.
For a team of fat kids.
All right. This is today's clip of the day by Matthew McConaughey.
If life was nothing
I
but
need his hair
green
transplant
lights
guy.
and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that make us pause, hardships, crises, times for introspection, then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. That's how, hopefully, there's some ascension to our being. That's how we give some credit to time and growing older. If we were the same person today that we were 20 years ago, then what the hell are we doing? If life was...
Damn, son. Damn.
Grown men crying. So. Oh, shit. If I haven't had enough of that. Shouldn't he be looking for Tug Speedman from Tropic Thunder?
Okay.
All right. On to the next.
Much better.
Frenchy.
Much better
Yes,
already.
I knew you would like this one.
That's Frenchy clickbait.
Yeah, I specifically.
That's usually when Blondie pops her fucking
yeah.
in the goddamn door.
Look what Brian was looking at.
I prepared this one specifically for you, Frenchy. I knew you would like this because this ice cream is the best ice cream that you could probably ever get.
Is it breast milk?
Yes! It is.
Oh! You know me so
This morning I woke up craving breast milk ice cream, so I grabbed my electric pump and pumped a few ounces of fresh, warm milk. Ice cream made with real ingredients is a superfood. The base of this ice cream is part breast milk and part raw cow's milk. To my bowl, I added in some fresh raw cream, separated the yolks from the whites and a few eggs and added those in, some organic vanilla bean paste, and honey. You don't need to add too much.
Can we ask her for ID? I need to see. I need to always ensure that we're at the right age before. Otherwise, it might as well be a dude.
I know Frenchie is enthralled with this lady because she was fucking up the egg yolks and you didn't even notice. You were just no, don't. Shh. It's okay, girl. No, it's okay.
He was tracking the source of the milk.
Yeah.
This milk is naturally very sweet. Also, a pinch of salt to mix. I wanted to make 2 flavors of ice cream, a chocolate and a vanilla, so I separated the base and added a few spoons of cacao to one of the mixes. I then put both mixes in the freezer, and then several hours later, once they were
I love a
completely
sundress.
frozen, I put them
Holy
in the
shit.
Ninja creamy ice cream machine. I use my creamy egg.
Maybe she's babysitting.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it optimistic.
Literally every day, and I feel no guilt whatsoever about it. And that's because all the ingredients I use are local, raw, nutrient-dense, and highly bioavailable. And what better use for the breast milk that I have on tap? This morning...
All right.
Dude, I mean, breast milk is super sweet.
Is it?
It's so sweet.
Okay.
Wow, you didn't check? You
no,
didn't try?
I didn't try. I didn't check.
How many kids you got?
Now I have those.
Oh man.
It just never crossed my mind to,
Are either of them yours?
I don't think so. All right, guys. You remember playing with your siblings or your cousins and some horseplay, the shit that you can come up with.
That's how you get we all have that scar in our forehead and in our chin.
Yes.
We all have it.
That we do.
All right, let's check this out.
can just feel it from here. Look at the eyes. Oh, it's coming.
Come on, everybody loves a fat kid.
He's getting it right to the chin, isn't he? Oh, there's the reach.
No, what is it? Okay.
Just watch.
Oh, I knew it. It's almost like he knew it.
Slow-mo is amazing.
Look at that kid's face.
Ooh, I watched the UFC fight the other day.
Yeah.
The guy punched him so hard, he tore his ear off.
Oh, fuck.
You saw
You
it?
sent that to me,
I
you
did.
asshole.
It was great, right?
It was fucking brutal.
Do you know how... Oof, with the gloves on, too?
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
think he
hit.
elbowed him, and that's
that what it was?
what tore his
I
ear.
almost prefer a torn ear off than a cauliflower ear.
Oh, yeah. Cauliflower
boxing?
ears are pretty brutal to
And
look
it's
at.
irreversible.
Yeah.
Cauliflower ears are irreversible.
You have to take care of it and mend it
Yeah, you have to drain
same
it.
day. If not, it stays like that.
Oh shit. All right, Pat, you've worked with a few pieces of beef here and there, right? Once in a
Yes.
while. So,
Yeah,
know,
he's
few.
a business owner,
few.
like you mentioned.
yeah.
Like us.
Yeah.
We're on the...
Well, he does a little more, just a little more than us, you know. So what I find really beautiful about the internet is that it has given everybody the ability to have a voice. And, sometimes for better or for worse. But then there's guys like Guga Foods, who is an enthusiast and just pushes it to the max. But he has a video here where he's telling us about the best cuts of beef to dry age. And you've dry aged a few steaks here and there, right?
I have.
Yes. Josh, run the B-roll. Well, Frenchy many more times than I have, but last time we were at Pat's, he showed us the dry age room. Absolutely a sight to behold. But let's see. I would really love your opinion.
I mean,
on
it's the
Guga.
Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, of dry age.
Oh, it is.
Yes. Of meat.
Guilty as
Period.
charged on that, but let's see what he did.
All right, let's check out what he has to say, and I would
Maybe
really,
it's all good.
Yeah, and at any time, just tell me to pause if you have a comment to make.
Sure.
And don't worry, Guga's a friend. If you have shit to say, he can take it.
And these are the meats I'm going to be using for today's experiment.
So,
They are
alright, he's
whole
got
ribeye
prime
loin.
choice, and what's in the middle?
It's an Angus.
Ribeye, right? What?
It looks
I
like
can't
an
read.
ungraded Angus.
Yeah, let's see. I'm sure he's gonna tell us.
But each one of them is a different grading. We have prime, premium, and choice. In order to find out which one is best to dry age, I'm going to be cutting them in half. That way we can taste one fresh and the other one dry aged. And this one is the choice grade. As expected, there's not a lot of marbling, which is the little white spots throughout the meat. You can still see a little bit, but nothing like a higher grade. And here we have premium. USDA does not recognize this grading. In its eyes, it's still choice.
Can you elaborate on that?
I'm not sure what they mean by if the USDA doesn't recognize it as a grade, that means that he's grading it premium? Is that what he's saying?
I'm not sure.
This is-
I'm not
Well,
sure.
you see the intramuscular fat, does he said, what did he say, white spots?
Yeah,
Right, so the intramuscular fat is fairly moderately abundant here.
yeah.
So there's one reason that the USDA would not grade this, because this would be prime. Unless, but it doesn't just go off intramuscular fat, it goes off formation of bone. So where there's cartilage, if that turns into bone, that means the animal's past a certain age of most likely 30 months of age. Past 30 months of age, they may not grade it because it's past the grading system. It's too old of an animal. Anything over 30 months of age has the risk of BSE, mad cow disease.
Oh.
But I'm just
okay.
guessing
Yeah.
here. This is just my a guess because there's no reason that this steak would not grade prime or high choice otherwise.
Mad cow.
So-
Didn't the French invent that?
Well, it was a round trip. So they sold Canada the feed. The Canadians fed it, to their cattle with Bill Clinton and the North American trade agreement. America had to take in Canadian and Mexican beef and sell it as domestic. And it was illegal for a butcher to point out that it wasn't. So then when we exported that back to France and Italy, they came down with mad cow disease and it tracked it all the way back to them. It was one big circle because they were putting what we call downers into the feed. A downer is when an animal can't make it on the kill floor to the cutting room. And if they fall along the way, they call it a downer because it went down. Mm-hmm. You can't, there's no way to get that animal up by force. They had it was legal for a while to stun them, to get them, to motivate them to get up there, but they did away with that years ago. So if it's a downer, you have to let it go. And it's a sin to lose it, but that's the law. So especially in the EU. Now imagine they took those animals and then processed that product and put it into the feed. And that's where the BSE originated, which affects everything from the brain to down the central nervous system.
It's the beginning of the zombie movie.
Okay. I did not know these. So any animal over 30 months, they incinerate it, or what happens?
No. Animals over 30 months, like I'm assuming that's what this may be. Mm-hmm. They usually would not get graded by the USDA because they're too old.
Okay.
They've reached this point where, and they're able to tell that by formation of bone. Mm-hmm. They don't listen to what anyone says. They want to see, inside the body themselves it's usually the thorax. Mm-hmm. They'll see if that is no longer cartilage, if that's formed bone.
But you can clearly see the difference. The intramuscular fat is way better. And sometimes when I buy premium, I get really lucky. And today is one of those days. And this is prime. As I'm cutting it open, you can clearly see the difference. The outer fat is much larger than the premium one. And it's also very white, a sign that it was grain-fed for more.
Right. So I didn't think that the fat was too yellow in the premium, but that's tends to make me think that it's what I was saying. Animals that get older, the fat turns yellow, and we try to stay away from that. So yellow fat in beef is really sticky, and we feel it sticks to your arteries a lot more than what this beef would. So this white fat is really crisp and clean, whereas the yellow fat may even linger in the back of your tongue as you're eating it. So yeah, he thinks he's doing well with that premium, but there are setbacks to that.
Right.
There's a reason why, because the grower that grew that beef gets paid on performance. So they'll get paid X amount for select, as it goes up the chain, choice, and then prime, and then if it doesn't grade, they get below select. So there's they would want it graded no matter what. So there has to be a good reason that they would accept that it doesn't. On the kill floor where the USDA stands, if there's a dispute between the grower and the USDA who's grading the product, they put it on another rail. Mm-hmm. Not to have an argument on the kill floor. They don't want to argue about it there, so they'll bring it back at the end of the shift. They'll bring it back, and hopefully by then everyone's settled down, and they can reevaluate the beef to see what grade it is.
Gotcha. So it is legal to sell the beef after 30?
Yes.
30. It's just not graded, therefore it doesn't sell for as much, but you could get lucky and get a nice marbled piece like Guga had there, or it could be shitty?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
For days. However, the intramuscular fat is very similar to the premium. So you have a better comparison. Here's what they look side by side. We got prime on the left, premium in the middle.
Oh yeah, you weren't kidding about the fat color. Now I really see it. So
here's what they look side
by. Yeah, look at that.
And that's moderate. Usually it's a lot more yellow than that.
Yeah.
By side.
So
we got
like
prime on the left,
inside?
premium in the middle, and choice on the right. This is the Omai Dry Age system, and what it does, it allows you to dry age at home without any special equipment. The kit comes with this membrane, which looks like a plastic bag. And the difference between a regular bag is that it allows moisture to escape without allowing anything bad to get back in. It basically allows you to dry age at home in your
porous
regular...
only in one direction? Is this real?
In only one. It is real, and I've tried to test this, but I wasn't able to get my hands on these bags. That's the claim, that moisture goes out. And as far as cuts go, the only two places that water can escape, and that's what you want to happen in this process, are from the eyes, the front and back eyes. So covering it with this plastic, as long as water is able to escape, like the claim is, then that's all legitimate. And ribeye is a great piece of meat to do that with. When you do that with something that doesn't have that, like chuck, it's very hard to get the water out of the center, or on a brisket. There's so much waste if you dry age the brisket. It's possible, and we've done it, but by the time you trim off all the exterior, the yield is so low that it's not. But this there's not much to trim off, but I've never tasted the finished product.
Gotcha. So for anyone who's not a working professional in the culinary industry, when Pat says the eye, it's the exposed meat, that big round part, which is called the eye of a ribeye. And then you also mentioned the yield on a brisket. That basically means after you dry age it and you trim off everything, the yield that is left, that is the product that you can use. So if you don't have a high yield and you have this brisket, it's going to skyrocket in cost because you have much less usable product. So then there's like almost no point to dry age it at that point. You might as well just have a ribeye or a strip or something.
Stupid question. If cost was not a factor, could you improve the dry aging effect by, like, every so often slicing the eyes off and letting more moisture come out?
No, you wouldn't need to, because if you dry age it at the right speed, which takes a long time to figure that out, but if you're able to get that protein to expel enough moisture, it doesn't close off. The edges, the ends, where, as I was saying, the eyes, they don't seal off. So no, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
It's not necessary.
Refrigerator just by putting it there and let it sit. The next step is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is put it in the membrane. One of the things a lot of people make mistake on is drying the meat. You don't want to pat it dry, because if you do, you won't have a nice contact with the membrane. If your meat is already dried, one thing you can do is use regular water. You don't have to be worried because the water will evaporate. And as always, it is important to keep
No,
everything.
and I don't know why they would want to add water if they're trying to extract water, unless, as he said, it doesn't have a good seal with the membrane, and maybe there's something to that science where you need water for it to come out. I don't know, like siphoning a gas tank or something.
I'm disinterested with this part. Let's move on.
Everything clean. So by using gloves, all you have to do is rub a little bit of cold water. This will ensure that the meat have great contact. The next thing to do is to use these fabrics, which allows you to suck all the air out. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, you can also use the water displacement method. That works great, but since I have a vacuum sealer, I'm better off using it. One thing that you have to remember is that does not matter what you do, you will not be able to suck all the air out. And that's okay. As long as the membrane have good contact with the meat, you are good to go. It is important to have good circulation throughout the whole thing. You don't want to stack them on top of each other, and to make sure the bottom gets air, I'm using these cooling racks. But now that I have all of them ready, there's nothing else to do but put them on my regular refrigerator and wait 35 days. Once the 35 days were up, I quickly removed them from the refrigerator and opened up the bag. As you can see, the membrane did its job and it dry aged perfectly. I've gotten comments before asking me if you can reuse it, and that will be a no. But after removing every single one from the membrane, this is what they look like.
So Pat, if
How much of this is camera editing, though?
what do you mean?
Like
camera?
I don't
the
think
shading.
you see the one on the far right? You could see how the protein has retracted a bit, and
Concaved in, right?
right.
Yeah.
And the fat doesn't do that, and you can see that the fat still stays out. So it looks like he dry aged it just right. I think on boneless meat, how many days did he say this was?
35 days.
35 days. There should be a little bit more water out, but the process definitely happened.
Okay.
The water was exited. Water did exit those bags. So,
Okay.
And that's why we have that concave on both ones on the right. But it looks like the one on the left didn't.
Right.
didn't
There's
get
even
there.
still a little bit of red color in the eye on the prime. I believe that's the prime over there.
And the problem is, in dry aging, we're controlling the decomposition. We're basically preventing it from rotting. And the one on the right that has a little bit of red, but it's not red, it's that reddish brown, unhealthy color. That may be a little sticky.
Necronis.
And you may have a negative flavor from that. So I wouldn't judge that meat by the process.
Gotcha.
And here we have the prime. You can clearly see that the fat's still a little bit white. And this is the premium. The intramuscular fat on this one is awesome. And lastly, we have the choice. I'm having high hopes for choice because dry age actually tenderizes the meat. But there's only one way to find out if it's good, and that is to try it. So here's an advice I'm gonna give you. This fat right here is great for burgers. If you wanna add the unique flavor of dry age to your burger, adding fat is the perfect way. So what I like to do is to remove this big chunk and use for many things. It is also great for chilies, and by cooking it as a steak, it would just be a waste. So I like to remove all of them and save. The next thing to do...
In one of the first videos we ever reacted to was Think Salt Bay or something, and we're talking about how people have scammed several times in restaurants where they will brush on
Yes.
the dry age fat, the tallow. And yes, it doesn't replicate necessarily the tenderness of a really well dry aged steak,
But definitely.
but definitely gets the flavor there. And a lot of times most people won't be able to tell. Not every time, but a lot of times. And,
You know, the dry aged burger craze started that way, where they were rendered dry aged fat was poured over the top, and then we put it into the burger itself. But yeah, there was a big demand for, and still is, for dry aged fat
oh yeah, so
to
I mean,
do that very process.
And I mean, you must have tons of dry aged fat.
We do.
Yeah.
We certainly do, and but it is good for a burger. It doesn't have, you know, because it's not throughout.
Yeah.
It's almost like putting, you know, is it truffle or is it truffle oil?
Right.
So,
yeah,
but it still leaves behind some really good notes.
gotcha.
Is to open it up, and here we have the prime, and that looks amazing. And this is the premium. Wow, to me it looks way better than the prime.
Wait,
What do
hold on
you
one second,
think?
guys.
And lastly,
So you see how when this
Go
is
back,
I
go
don't
back,
mean
yeah.
to nitpick, but I'm just it looks like not enough water came out, and I'll tell you why. Dry aged beef should be like a stick of butter that's really cold. When you put that ribeye up there, you shouldn't see most of that ribeye. If you play it again, you shouldn't see it move.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And it
Yeah.
kind of like squirmed down.
would just
Yeah.
be a
Yes.
waste. So I like to remove
my
all
God,
of them
it's so
and save.
obvious when
The next thing to
pointed
do
out.
is to open it up, and here we have the prime.
Yeah,
See
it
it
has
right there.
motion.
Right.
So it's just there's nothing wrong with the beef. It's just I don't think those bags got out enough dry age.
Gotcha. Do you think?
I mean, I'm sorry, enough
Enough
water.
moisture.
Do you think if he left it in there for 60 days, it would have worked? Or hard to say.
It may have, but here's the risk: at 60 days, if not enough water is out, it will rot
Gotcha.
and it'll be spoiled.
Yeah.
And that looks amazing. And this is the premium. Wow. To me, it looks
Yeah,
way
now I
better
see
than the
it.
prime.
Now I see
what
what
do
you
you
mean.
think?
Yeah,
And
it's still
lastly,
moving.
we have the choice. It seems to me that it
Yeah.
got a little
Yeah, that one too, huh?
better. And here's what they all look like next to each other. Then I cut them into steaks. I like them to be 1.5 inches thick. One thing you have to remember is that it is okay to freeze dry age. If you do it properly, it will be as good as day one. The most important thing on
Any truth to that?
Well, I think any kind of freezing of meat takes away a bit of the quality of it, and it certainly creates purge. It's not just dry age that you could freeze correctly, and it's almost as good as day one. You could do that with fresh product also, and I would say that a blast freezer is not what you want to do. That's too much shock to those muscle cells that they kind of burst. So putting them in your household freezer after you vacuum them is great,
Okay.
and it freezes over a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a few hours. But just to put them into a blast freezer, you hear this terminology. I think that's where you get meat you ever pick up meat from the freezer and it feels light, like it feels like it's almost lighter than when you put it in there. That's a big problem, and that's one of the things that gets lost in the freezer.
When you say purge, what does that mean for our audience who's not familiar?
Purge is any liquid that drips from that steak before you put it on
Gotcha.
on the cooking surface.
Right.
So, there's not much purge here though. So I'm going to give him some props for that.
Yeah.
I still think he could have gotten some more moisture out, but you don't see the surface wet or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Like the sweating. Like a sweating effect?
Sweating or a bit of a leaking, but you don't see it at all.
Gotcha.
Preserving its quality is a vacuum sealer. You don't want to put them in Ziploc bags. Over time, you will get freezer burn and just be terrible. And I have stored them for quite some time. But good luck with that, they won't last that long. Now to finish off our experiment, these are the 3 I'm going to be using today. To me, they look perfect and exactly what I'm looking for when dry aging steaks. The next thing to do is
Yeah,
to
he
remove
changed it
the
up.
outer layer.
So he trimmed off the exterior, right? Okay, sorry. I guess the marbling, it's just a habit. It becomes like a fingerprint. So if you remember, the premium was like a W.
Yeah,
that
right?
Yeah,
shape.
I noticed that.
And the prime came across from top left to
And had
bottom
like a
right.
Z, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we lost it there, but that's only because he shaved off the
tail.
we call it the face.
Yeah.
So the very end of the dry age, he cut that crust off.
Called pellicles. People always ask me, do you really have to remove that? Yes, you do. They don't taste good. They go well on a chili, but besides that, no. And if you want to see a dry-aged chili recipe, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to make it
He
happen.
says they go good in a chili. He's meaning the pellicle?
You can eat that.
Okay.
I mean, speaking of Nick Solaris, he used to ask me for that years ago. And he used to eat it like beef jerky, right? He used to take it right off
Oh,
the
wow.
tables and chew on it. Yeah, you could eat it, of course. We're required to remove it as per the USDA, and there's a chance that there's a pathogen on that exterior if you don't use a UV light or something like that, I would assume. But it's edible.
Oh, okay. All right. And you said Nick Solaris used to ask for that. So what stopped him? Did he get
No, I
violently
wouldn't
ill
say
one
I
day,
wouldn't
or-
say he stopped.
Oh.
But before he worked for me,
Yeah.
he was he's definitely a food writer that got into what he was doing and spent many nights, standing alongside our butchers, and he would ask me for the dry aged trim that would come off that we would really just send off to a rendering company.
Hell yeah.
But once I was done trimming, here we have both of them, the fresh and the dry-aged ones. We got the dry age on the top and the fresh ones on the bottom. You can now clearly see the differences between them. The dry age has shrunk quite a bit. And this is the prime. And here we have the premium. It has also shrunk, and the dry age feels way more tender than the fresh. And lastly, we have the choice. As expected, it has also reduced in size. But now that we have everything ready, all there's left to do is to season them. I kept the seasoning simple with salt, freshly ground black pepper, and garlic powder. It is important to season all sides,
how I feel
including
about
the
the
edges.
The black
These are
pepper and the garlic powder.
Yes.
Should just be salt.
I know you're not a fan, but yeah.
thick steaks and you want to make
All
sure you
good.
season them well. But now that I have all of my steaks ready, the first thing I'm going to do is put a nice beautiful sear on them. Then using my wireless thermometer, I'm going to cook them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that's done, we'll be ready to try them.
Before cooking these amazing steaks, I want to talk to
Oh,
you
this
about
is an old
today.
video.
This is an old. That's Guga, by the way.
Yeah, Guga's a little kind of big. I'm a little intimidated now.
Yeah. He's lost 100 pounds.
He has?
Yeah, he has lost 100, and he's like jacked now. He's looking good.
I don't think they shrunk that much. And was it really the other side of the ribeye 35 days later?
I'm sorry.
That's what the thing. I was like, how did he keep it? Was it wet aging?
I don't think. I think it was I think those were 3 different halves.
Well, he had the full.
Yes, but remember,
and-
it's
yeah, and then
35 days went by.
Yeah,
and it still looks like that.
I think he froze it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like 99%
Oh,
sure
okay.
he froze it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, thank you for that piece of info.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
was
when you go
definitely
to
thinking
his
about that.
Yeah, when you go to his place, he has numerous freezers, all like tons of vacuum packed bags, and they're all labeled and like you.
So the
you pull out-
comparison was frozen.
I'm 99.9% sure.
Okay.
Because when you go into that freezer, he has like tons of experiments all going on.
So let's go
in it.
based
Well, he
on
knows
that.
what he's doing if that was frozen, because that product looked very good. It looked all red. None of it was discolored.
Yeah.
Which would all be normal and not bad and nothing that you could taste.
Right.
But the visual of it would not be as bright. So if he froze it, he did a great job in doing it.
It is enough talking, and it is time to cook those beautiful steaks. So let's do it.
I think the first flip was a little premature.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all premature.
Little
Well,
gray.
he is of the school where he actually flips consistently to try to get more of an even crusting, which is counterintuitive to how we were taught working in kitchens.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
As long as he's going to keep them on the heat until it has that sear.
Yeah.
But it's fine with me.
Well, everybody's obsessed with the grill marks.
Yeah.
So if you want those nice grill marks, but if you're doing a proper sear, those grill marks disappear
Yeah,
anyway.
those grill marks disappear. So Guga's not a fan of grill marks.
Yeah,
so
grill
he's not-
marks are
yeah.
frowned upon now.
Yeah.
Right? At a certain time, you have diamonds on it. But
But very 80s.
yeah, I don't think he's really going for that. But he did have some cool diamonds in the finished product that he was showing.
Control steaks, which is the ones that haven't been dry aged. Now, in your opinion, what is the best grade of beef to dry age? Like, where do you stand on that?
So when you ask that question, it's got to be more focused on what's the best grade for what you're trying to do. Dry aging really takes foot strongest in fat. So prime, if you were testing each of these, of which would have the most amount of dry aged flavor, whatever has the most intramuscular fat is going to have the most dry aged flavor. So I would say, in his case, the premium, because that looks like it's the most marbled. Does the dry aging make the choice more tender? Sure it does.
Yeah.
And that's what you want the dry aging to do. But you won't have the same dry age flavor because it does not have enough fat to take foot in, to take hold of.
Gotcha.
So-
Gotcha. All right.
Beautiful buffet of steaks here today, huh? There's a lot more people behind the camera, but we brought these two guys here so they can try it. This is Leo, if you guys don't know. You already know my nephew, Angel. I say enough talking because we got a lot of things to eat, yeah?
Yeah, we don't want to get the last ones too cold. You know?
All right, so here's the deal that I want to know from you guys, all right? These steaks are exactly the same, and so are these and these as well, okay? So we're comparing A to B, A to B, A to B. And I want to know your opinion, which one you guys like best. Okay. Sounds like a plan?
Visually, I'm getting ideas.
You got any ideas?
Yes.
Oh boy, here you go. All right, let's start right here in this direction. Go for it.
He's like, I don't need to listen to your ideas.
First one, nice and thin, so we can really taste the steak. Cheers, everybody.
Our choice grade, control, not dry age.
Oh wow, my bad.
Oh, that's a nice
That's
steak.
really good. That's really good.
It's a Guga steak. That's all you have to say about that. Nothing else. All right, second one. We're gonna do this together, and we're gonna find out if there's any difference from that one. Cheers, everybody.
All right, choice, dry aged.
Oh wow.
Oh, there's a difference.
Yeah, that's dry age right there.
Come
That's
on.
That's what dry age is? Why? Not like it's a huge difference. I can taste it. That's awesome.
How do you know it's dry age, boy?
Welcome to the Angel Show.
Yeah.
I can just tell now. Just it's a little bit smaller, so like I already had like the idea because I saw it, and then the taste just gave it away.
Yeah, it has a nice little nutty flavor towards the end. You can tell right away. This one was only dry aged for 35 days. Have you ever had dry age?
And never in my life.
It's
At
a
all.
Oh
little.
wow! So
Is this his first episode?
I guess that's one of his first episodes. So that's Leo. He's one of Guga's right hand guys, and I guess this was really early on because now Leo's the guy with Guga's crew over there.
Yeah. Guga may be upset that you're judging him from that long ago. How long ago are we talking? 10 years?
Probably something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Different, right?
It's completely different, 100%.
Which one you like better, Leo? The
This
A
one-
or B?
B by far. by far.
All right, so it's a big jump.
Welcome
Yes.
to the dry age world.
The dry age world on the Angel Show, right?
On the Angel
All right, enough talking. Let's go for the second one. Go for it. You guys don't play, and I like it like that.
I'm gonna get 2.
You're gonna get double, Leo. Go for it. Leo, don't cheers. Leo's ready. Cheers, everybody.
My bad.
That's delicious, though.
Wow.
I love steak.
I love steak too.
Now, the dry age.
The dry. You see where we're going here already, huh?
This is the Angel Show, yes?
Yeah, the Angel Show.
Second steak. Let's give it a try and see how it tastes. Cheers,
Cheers.
everybody. Oh boy.
Woo! Wow. God
Whoa.
damn.
See how the dry age
Whoa.
takes prominence over the fat.
Right. So
That makes total sense to me.
yeah.
The prime which she's going to taste after will be almost the same, maybe a little bit less.
Right, because the premium that he had here had more intramuscular fat. So.
It did.
Got you.
Now I can tell that's dry age.
Wow. So yeah, you know what you were saying about the more fat it has, the more it's going to take hold. Like you can just see from Leo's reaction for a guy who's having dry age for the first time. He's really picking up on it.
That's good. That's good. Wow.
That
I think a
is
proper test would have been select, choice, and prime, not that weird thing that's not available all across the board.
True. Maybe he didn't have access to select. We're not
Okay.
sure. But yeah, I mean,
Nitpicking.
the most popular grades are select, choice, and prime, right?
They are the only grades.
Oh, they're only grades. Yeah, there you go.
No, the only popular one is.
Is prime. Yeah,
Yes.
I get it. For the general audience.
Please don't embarrass me. He's like literally
Oh,
sitting
no,
next
no,
to
no.
me.
There's a market for each of those grades.
Yeah, prison,
And then there's-
schools,
no.
cafeterias.
No, but you'd have more luck getting the premium grade in prison than you would select.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense because it's
not graded.
It's not
Oh, yeah.
graded, so it's technically below select.
You're right. No, yeah, you're right.
So it could have marbling like fucking Wagyu, but it's not graded.
God damn it.
It may stop up your arteries, but it's okay.
huge jump right there for me.
I gotta say, it
From
even
this
got
one
softer.
to this one.
It even got softer.
Yeah.
Got softer, a little umami taste, a little nutty flavor. It is amazing. The fat renders in your mouth a lot better, has a better bite. It's an overall better steak. Agree?
If we're going like this is the baseline, and then we're trying to judge this one,
1 to 5, go.
that was a 5 jump.
Yeah, I agree with Angel.
That was full.
That was really good. That was crazy.
That was so good, I would say it was 5.5.
Most fat.
That's right.
Guga has been pimping his premium grade though from the beginning. You notice that?
That's damn delicious.
Was that what it was, really?
Yeah,
I'm a beast.
that one does have the most fat. Okay, that was incredible. Not much to say. It is fantastic steak. Okay, let's go. Ready?
All right, now the
Oh,
prime dry.
Oh my God, it's falling apart.
I didn't mean to, but it just
Oh, you got a
happened.
double. Look at my cap just falling apart. All right,
I
ready?
didn't mean to.
You didn't mean to get double, huh?
Did not mean to.
I understand
Let's
that.
cheers. I'm hungry.
I enjoy
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Leo's ready to go. Last one. Cheers,
Cheers.
everybody.
Oh my god. Yeah. Across the board. Come on, Google. You gotta throw them 10s up. That's crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You just go from like, it's almost Wagyu texture. It's just so extremely tender. The flavor is ridiculous. It's just an overall amazing steak. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. These are choice, these are premium, and here we have prime.
So Google, I'm sorry, but what exactly does that mean? Because I'm a little bit of a caveman,
Wow,
so
he
I don't
really is new.
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
Good questions though.
yeah, they are good questions. Yeah.
But the premium is it's not something that we deal with a lot. So it's added
You
stress.
really wouldn't find it anywhere.
Exactly. So
I wonder where he got it from. Anyway.
Off the back of a truck.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I definitely want to hang out with Guga and his crew over here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely someone I would want to have a beer with.
100%. Great guys. And you know what? We're gonna wrap it up. But before we close this out, Pat, thank you so much for making the time to coming back onto the podcast. So really quick, let the look into the camera and let the audience know where they can find out more about you.
LaFrieda.com is our website, and you could everything that you need to know about LaFrieda is right there.
All right. Check it out, guys. And remember,
The name is self-explanatory, trust me.
there you go. But remember, it always gets better. And I'm Chef Brian Sao, not your typical chef.
Frenchy.
We'll see you really soon. Say bye to the wide cam. Bye.